Ladies and gentlemen, back. Ryjack here, doing another live stream, of course. Every night we do these live streams. Happy to be here and interact with the chat, talk about some Man City. We got a big one this weekend, FA Cup, round 5, which I believe means we're pretty close to the, I don't know what it's called, is there 8 left, 16 teams left? I'm not really sure. We're getting close to the end, though. I'm going to guess we're in the 16 teams left. I think that's how much are left. So if we win, we'll be in the quarterfinals. If I'm wrong, you guys can correct me in the chat. But anyway, big one, of course. Hopefully we will see some rotation. We'll see some maybe new players. Hopefully we get to see Claudio Echeverri. That is the goal for me. That's who I want to see. That's who I'm sure you guys all want to see as well. So anyway, let's pull up the preview here. All right. So it'll be Saturday. We'll be doing a live watch along, of course. 12:45 for me. I think that's 5:45 over in England, where it will be played. It's at the Etihad, of course. We got a home game, which is nice. So, you would ideally expect City to come away with a win. Nothing's ever guaranteed. If you remember FA Cup round 4 a couple of weeks ago, we played Leyton Orient, and they were up 1-0 for the majority of the game almost. They had that screamer worldie from, almost the halfway line. And it was looking difficult. You never know for sure with the FA Cup. You can never take your opponents lightly, as Liverpool did find out. Plymouth did beat Liverpool to get to this round. And, like I said, we almost went out against Leyton Orient. So, injuries-wise, if you look at Plymouth, you've got Brendan Galloway, Joe Edwards, and Ryan Hardy missing the game. For me, I'll be honest, I have no idea who any of those players are. I can't name anyone on Plymouth's team. Never watched them play. We don't really get the championship on TV over here in the U.S., so I'm not going to pretend, I know anything about them other than they beat Liverpool, and Liverpool basically played all the kids. So I'm not sure there's a whole lot to take away from that. They're near the bottom of championship, not having the best of seasons, but, round 5 of the FA Cup, they have a chance to do something and move on. For City, few injuries of note. Stones out maybe for the season, remains to be seen. No surgery, though, as reported, which is always a good thing. Akanji, late April, maybe for the season, is out. Muscle injury for them both, very unfortunate. Rodri, of course, out for the season with that ACL. And then you have Oscar Bob, who it's possible he makes his season debut. I'm not sure if he will or if he won't, but he has been in training, I believe, the entirety of this week here. So could be something that we see. Mr. Oscar Bob making his debut, which would be great. If you guys have watched my channel for any bit of time, I'm a huge Oscar Bob fan, and I think he would have started at right wing for us this season and had a great season. He was coming off, an unbelievable preseason, and it's really unfortunate. Broke his leg, and then about to come back, has an ankle injury. He's been out that was probably 2-3 weeks ago at this point. So it is sad that it's, almost March and he hasn't played yet, but I do think he'll feature in March, April, and hopefully in May. He'll have a big role to play throughout the season. As far as form goes, Plymouth, 2 draws, a loss, and then some wins here. City, of course, coming off the 1-0 win against Spurs, followed by the Liverpool and Madrid losses. So not the best form for City. We did have that. It's weird. We had, the really poor 2 losses there, Liverpool and Madrid, sandwiched under that with the other Madrid game is the Newcastle game, where it was probably our best performance of the season, 4-0, kind of smashed them, was great. So it's really weird because, we look at this game here, the Spurs game, I talked about it yesterday, but we could have been 4-5-0 up at halftime, and the game would have been over, and in the second half, Spurs could have scored 3 for themselves. It was a really weird game. We finished 1-0. But, all that matters, we got the win. So, anyway, that's it for that part of the preview. I do want to look at lineup builder with you guys and see if anyone has any ideas, any good suggestions to see what we are doing. Now, there's definitely going to be some rotation, so it always makes it interesting, of course, to see who are the young guys and who we have available. For me, in goal, it's the Cup, so I'm going to go with Ortega. He did have kind of the world he scored on him. I'm not sure you can really blame Ortega for that goal that was scored, so keeps his place. He's going to start the Cups for the rest of the year. Well, I guess just the FA Cup is all we have left, so I definitely see him playing a prominent role in the FA Cup. Ederson's just not going to play in the FA Cup because Ederson's going to hold down #1 spot. And again, Ederson hate needs to chill out. The dude might have won us the game against Spurs. He was very, very good. Had a couple of huge saves and was vital in getting us the 3 points. Defense. This gets interesting here. I think everybody wants to see more of Kusanov, and everybody wants him to play, of course. But in my mind, Kusanov is going to have a huge role the rest of this season. And this might be an opportunity to actually give him a little bit of rest and then ham him out for the rest of the year. That's kind of what I envision in my head. So I don't know if you go like Ake and Vitor Heiss. That might be a good opportunity for him to get some minutes here. Maybe he gets 45 and then Diaz comes on or Kusanov comes on. But I think you start Vitor Heiss in this game as well as Ake. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Ake and Vitor Heiss, however you say it. I don't know if he is in this at the moment, but we can just do this and then name him Heiss. I don't even know what number he is. I think he's like 25 or something. And he's not Swedish. He's of course he's Brazilian, but that's what I'm thinking for the most part. Right back, I probably would go with Nunes again. I think he was pretty good against Spurs and didn't have any bozo moments, nothing too crazy. So, yeah, I think you can do that there and be happy with that. Left back is interesting because you really only have Vardiol or Ake. And now that I'm thinking about it, I definitely want to rest Vardiol. So, you might have to play Ake left back and then Diaz center back maybe? Diaz or Kusanov is tough because I want to give everybody rest that I can, but Kusanov played quite a bit recently. So we might have to do that right there. Temporarily. If anyone in the chat has a differing opinion, of course, throw your comment in there and I'll think about it and see what we could do. Midfield is interesting. Not sure as far as KDB, if we're going to see him here. It might be the same situation where he's a sub available to come off like he did in the Leyton Orient game and actually had a huge impact and won us the game with his goal. So I'm gonna go with James McAtee as our midfielder here, our kind of attacking midfielder. I think probably we see a rest for Nico Gonzalez here, which I would be in favor of probably because top 4 race is tight and it's something that is super important to us and in all honesty is the most important thing. Is as great as winning the FA Cup would be, I would probably personally rather have Champions League next year than the FA Cup this year. And maybe that's the wrong way to look at it, but I just think the FA Cup, winning it is great, but, getting in the Champions League provides you with the Champions League money, and we need to reinvest in the summer heavy. So I think we're going to need that money, and that's probably better in general for the club than, winning a trophy, how good that is for us, the fans. It's probably better for the club to get in the top 4. So I go McAtee here for sure. I think we see Gundogan probably start. There's not a whole lot of games where I'm cool with him starting, but I think against Plymouth, he can maybe play 45, and then Kovacic can play the other 45 while Nico gets a rest. And the other center mid, the option you have is Nico O'Reilly. And I hope this is what we do. I guess you could go with Nico O'Reilly here at left back and then give Diaz a rest, but then you probably have to start either Nico or Kovacic in center mid, or Bernardo, I guess you could as well. But I don't know. It seems like a good opportunity to rest some guys in my mind, and this is what I would personally like to see, not necessarily what Pep is actually going to do. Striker is interesting. You could go Marmoush, you could go Mubama, you could go Haaland. I don't imagine we see Haaland. He probably gets a rest following the Spurs game, where it was his first game back. 2 games in a week, 2 games in really 4 days or so. Probably not the best idea, so I do think Haaland rests. Marmoush has played quite a bit, so it could be Marmoush up top, could be Foden up top, could be McAtee playing a false 9 for all we know up top. But I think we go with Mubama up top. It was nice seeing him in the game that he played. Well, I guess there's no Mubama. Let's see if there's a face. Yeah, there we go. Mubama right there. I don't know what number he is, and he's not Swedish, but we roll with it for now. I think Mubama getting the start is good. We have Marmoush on the bench. We have Haaland on the bench if needed. And then you got the wingers. And I think personally, probably left wing, we go with Jack Grealish. He's been really good. Not really good. He's been really poor. But, he did feature in the Spurs game right at the end. Came on in the last couple minutes of extra time, added time, and he did fine. He didn't really have an impact on the game. But again, this might be a game to get him in a bit of a rhythm, and hopefully we see some more Grealish throughout the rest of the season, even if it's likely that this is his last season and he's out the door in the summer, as unfortunate as that is for me being a Grealish fan. Right wing's interesting. I would love it to be Oscar Bob. I would love it to be Savio. I would love all the options we have, but for me, I'm gonna go with something I should have done in the midfield. I'm going to put Echeverri in the midfield, and I'm going to move McAtee out to right wing. So I think he can play there probably better than Echeverri can. I imagine Echeverri has some ability to play in the midfield as well as the wing. He did super, super well in this, under 20 Copa America thing for Argentina. He was probably, by all accounts, the best player in the tournament. So it's very exciting, and I do hope that we get to see him in this game. I know Pep kind of said some comments and was like, hopefully he'll be ready for the Club World Cup, which kind of caught some people off guard and was like, whoa, man, we want to see him now. So again, this is my team. This is not what Pep's probably going to do, but I want to see Echeverri. I want to see McAtee. I want to see Grealish. I want to see O'Reilly. I want to see Vitor Heiss. Those are the guys I want to see personally, and even Mubama as well. I'd like to see Mubama play, see what he can do on the pitch against a team that's, towards the bottom of the championship. And we've got some big names on the bench. Ideally, we get into halftime. Maybe we're 2-0 up, something like that. And if we're not, then, we make subs and adjust and try to win the game in the second half. So this is what I would do. I don't know if it's, like I said, exactly what will happen. But I think everybody seeing this lineup would be excited by the potential and the youth on the pitch. So anyway, that is my team, and my prediction is a 3-0 City win. We move on to the quarterfinals, I believe. Again, if that's wrong, correct me in the chat. But I think it's the quarterfinals we'll be moving on to. And I think it'll be relatively successful and hopefully just a no-drama type game. Get away with it, no injuries, and we move on. See who we can get in the next round and maybe get a little push for a trophy here. Anyway, 3-0, that's my prediction. Any likes are appreciated. Subs appreciated. You guys have been great lately. We just pushed past 70 subs. We're going for 100. So Any help towards that, always appreciated. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if my team is any good or not. Is it good enough to win? Am I taking Plymouth too lightly? All that good stuff, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, that is all for today. Thank you guys again, as always. I'll be live streaming the game Saturday, so check it out. For sure, I will be there. Anyway,